change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every season lives outside of status quo. If we stop believing we're meant to be, expanding our abilities. If the passion's gone, we are doing it wrong. Baby, you and I should start living now. With the whole world at our feet, we could stay or we could leave. There is nothing in between. So baby, we should start living now.
Good morning and welcome to today's video. What I was going to talk about on today's video, it's changed since I thought about making the video, and we're only talking literally a couple of days. So as you can probably imagine, because it's possibly happened to you, plans have changed quite dramatically in the shape of the last week. So next week we were meant to be going to Cyprus to do the 3-day qualifier for the UCI Gran Fondo World Series in Vancouver in September. Obviously this virus has and is continuing to spread worldwide. Most of Europe is shutting down. Obviously Italy first, Spain, France, it's crazy. Yeah, the Cypriot government have shut their borders, and first of all, there was doubt whether or not it would go ahead, because although there was no cases on the island, I believe there's now one. Nobody was sure what was happening, because the government was saying, well, because of what's happening outside of the island, first of all, the UK was put into tier 2, which meant that if we did fly out, we were going to have to quarantine ourselves for 14 days. Within a couple of hours, they downgraded us to level 3, which said, yes, you can fly to the island, but you're going to have to limit your movements, which cast doubt over entering a bike race. Then literally a day or two later, the timelines here are crazy, because there's so much happening so quickly. It seems like information which was quite fresh now fades off into the memory, which makes you just naturally feel that it was days ago when actually it was maybe only a few hours ago. So they upgraded again, and then the borders were shut. So then of course the airlines went, do you know what, we're not flying. We'll fly people back out, we'll make some emergency stops, but it's not happening. So yes, we got official announcement that Cyprus Gran Fondo was being postponed, and then maybe 2 days later we've spoken to the UCI, and the next date is 2021. So yeah, the UCI, the Gran Fondo in Cyprus, is not going ahead this year. So qualifier number 1, not happening. It has been rebooked for next year, and that was one of the options, that we could either take a 50% reduction, or refund I should say, or we can carry over. So we have carried over. Obviously we're not necessarily thinking about 2021 just now. Certainly the Gran Fondo finals will be in Bosnia next year, or at least at the moment they are. Things may develop, who knows, but certainly there's no intention to travel there at the moment. Obviously if that changes, we'll let you know. So Cyprus cancelled. Mallorca, now it's not cancelled, but Mallorca, as with the rest of Spain, is on lockdown. Flights in and out, well actually there's still flights coming out, but flights in, cancelled. There's no guarantee that is going to go ahead, because although at the moment flight bans and quarantine restrictions etc will expire currently prior to the 312, I think it's very unlikely that, one, those bans and restrictions aren't going to be carried on, or two, they're not just going to then open the floodgates and say, right, yep, everyone come back to the island. I read this morning, and at this point it is only just a rumour, but I read this morning that the Spanish authorities are potentially talking anywhere up to 3 months after they've lifted their own self-imposed quarantine before they allow tourists to flock back. And this is Mallorca we're talking about, and I can understand why, because if they've got themselves through it, then they don't want to then let people in. So at the moment, the 312 is going ahead, but I think, in all honesty, being realistic, it's probably not going to go ahead. So Cyprus, Mallorca, cancelled. Obviously, closer to home, things have developed, and this is where things are evolving from the time that I said I was going to make this video to now sitting down to record it today being Tuesday. The UK has gone into a bit of meltdown itself just last night, although things are slightly different between Scotland and the rest of the UK, because we had some measures already in place, banning events over 500 people, social distancing. The UK, or the rest of the UK, seems to have caught up with that now, and the message last night from Downing Street was stop all non-essential travel. As much as possible, work from home. Please don't visit pubs, clubs, theatres, etc. Now on Monday, so just yesterday, but in the morning, so way before this announcement, I already received emails from various companies in Scotland saying we're closed. So unfortunately no theatre, the cinemas are still open, but the theatres have officially closed down. There's going to be events which are being cancelled. Obviously in terms of racing, this weekend currently is going ahead. However, it is only Tuesday, so I think there's still time that the two events that we're meant to be racing in are going to be cancelled. Certainly closer to home on the Scottish racing calendar, the weekend after, both events that I'd entered have been cancelled. The week after that, the main event I'd entered has been cancelled. The week after that, the main event that I'd entered has been cancelled. So it's very uncertain times, very unprecedented times, but certainly it looks like the racing season may be over before it's really begun. Who knows? Obviously, looking further afield and further ahead, Tour of Cambridgeshire in June, which was again one of our targets for qualifying for Vancouver. Is that going to happen? I'm not sure. We're only talking 6 weeks away. And as I said, the official announcement in the UK last night was practice social distancing as much as you can. Those who are pregnant or over 70 or underlying health issues or people at risk, essentially self-quarantine yourself for 3 months. So who knows? We're obviously talking about mass gatherings as well. So an event like the Tour of Cambridgeshire, 6 weeks time, I can't see it happening. In terms of the UCI Gran Fondo World Series, Cyprus has been cancelled, Tour of Bentain's been cancelled, Brisbane has been postponed, potentially cancelled. Obviously there are events in France and Switzerland coming up later on, early next month. More than likely they're going to be cancelled. So you have to question whether or not the finals are going to go ahead. Although potentially, and fingers crossed, being positive, all of this will have been blown over by September. There's only been 6 qualifiers so far. It's a very difficult decision. What do you do? Do you run the finals? Do you not? Certainly, and again, this is where things are evolving. 2 days ago, when I thought about sitting down to make this video today, the message was going to be, well, if the finals don't happen, if we don't get to qualify, because there are only, we entered the qualifiers that we were able to. Yes, there are others around the world. Some of them are in Europe. So potentially we could get to them, but we just don't. We don't have the resources, either financially or, more importantly, time to get to these events. So if we can't qualify for the finals, the intention would be to do the Gran Fondo, because there is a Gran Fondo that runs side by side with the finals. Same event, same course. Obviously you're not competing with the other nations. for your rainbow jersey and your age categories, but you are competing against other people in the same age categories on the same course on the same day. So the intention would be to still fly out to Canada and do that event. Things have moved on 2 days from now, or 2 days from then, and we're all being asked to limit essential travel, and where's this going to end? What's going to happen? It's a very uncertain time. Yeah, I mean, the other thing we're going to talk about is the fact that it's time for a reset. Unfortunately, we caught the winter bug last week from the children. We've missed a lot of days training, and even now we're still feeling a little bit under the weather. We're getting there, we're coming out of it, but so it's time to reset. Obviously these events have been cancelled, a wee dip in fitness, time to reset, time to refocus, and time to move forward. We went through our entire training calendar, a racing calendar. We picked events out, we put events in, and we focused our aims, ABC events, and we challenged ourselves to be in certain places at certain times in the year. Are these events going to happen now? And we're only talking 2 days since we made that change. And we're looking at finishing off the training this week, which was already in the plan, and then next week Jason, our coach, was going to refresh the training plan based on the new targets that we'd set ourselves. But are those races going to go ahead? Are we going to get to enter the National Crit Masters? Are we going to get to do the National Masters road race? Are those events going to be taking place? We don't know. As I say, very uncertain times. But yeah, I think we just have to go with what we've got. We have to make the best of what we've got. Fingers crossed, the good weather's coming, so let's get out, let's ride the bike. We're not going to be stuck indoors. Yes, we are going to listen to advice, and we're going to minimise non-essential travel. However, going out on the bike on your own, not having coffee stops, just getting out there and riding the bike and training, is that an issue? It is if you injure yourself, because the national health might be at a breaking point by that point, but who knows? But stay calm, stay positive, move forward. Another thing that we wanted to talk about, we had a little parcel. We've been sitting on this for ages. It's not one that came to us free of charge, unfortunately. It's one that we paid for, but it's one that we're quite excited about, and it's looking for little gains. So this is a little parcel from Pongo. So we have a pair of Aero socks. Whoops. A jazzy pair of pink socks. And another pair of Aero socks. Basically, there was a little deal on last week or the week before, so we couldn't resist buying some new socks. Especially doing some more work in the velodrome, because certainly, a few months ago that was going to be next year's focus. So this year was focusing on the road, next year was going to focus on doing some velodrome racing. And one thing that always comes up, in a jovial sense, but you can see that some people are quite serious about it, is sock length in the velodrome. So we decided to buy a couple of pairs of Aero socks, which we wouldn't normally wear, certainly out on the road, but in the velodrome, sock height is king. So yeah, that's 3 little packets of some new socks from Pongo, and yeah, be good to get them on. That's really it. I mean, as I say, unprecedented, uncertain times. To anyone watching the video, stay positive, look after yourself, look after your family, and yeah, I mean, this will be something that we get over. It might take longer than we think. Who knows? That's it. I'm starting to ramble now. I'm going to go and get the bike on the trainer and do a little session on Zwift, and yeah. Facebook, Twitch, Mixer, obviously YouTube Live. If you've not subscribed already, then think about doing so, or if you've not followed or hit like or whatever you need to do on whichever channel you want to use, do so. Links are down the bottom here. We will be live streaming more events, especially if we're not able to get outdoors to do some racing. It's a shame because we're coming into the start of the spring, and you know, as you've hopefully seen if you have been following the channel, and appreciate you if you have been, the rate in which the videos are coming are starting to come back up again, and that's because we're getting out the house, we're doing more things, we're not just sitting on Zwift every single day. And you know, and I have made less videos over the winter because, you know, all I've been doing is training. So I've made a few videos about them, but it's more interesting to make vlogs, not necessarily ones like this where I'm just monologuing, but getting out and racing outdoors or training outdoors. But if that's not going to happen, then we are going to be doing a lot more races on Zwift. So the best way to see them is make sure you're subscribed to either, as I said, Facebook, Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, and you'll get notifications when the live streams come about. Certainly tomorrow there will be one, which will be today when you see this video. It's going to be around about 7 PM GMT, so tune in then. It's PDQ, Pretty Damn Quick Race Team. We're going to be targeting a few different events over the next few weeks. So if you've not subscribed, as I say, links down here. But that's going to be it for today's video. So if you've liked it, as ever, drop me a thumbs up. I always appreciate the support. Hit the like button, smash it, tickle it, you know the score. Subscribe to the channel. Very, very, very much appreciate those that do, but YouTube keeps telling me that there are over 75% of views on the channel not subscribed. Please consider subscribing. And spread the video, share the love, contain the virus, be kind, look after each other and yourself. And as ever, I'll see you soon for some new videos. Right on. Zoom.
There is a place where we can go.